Okay, I believe this is part 4 of the Yokomo YZ10 93 Works special project number 2, or whatever you want to call it. So as you can see, most of it's done. The chassis is all complete. Wheels are mounted. The wing mount is all set up. The rear suspension's done. Really, all that's left here is to mount the front bumper, body, the under tray, the wing, and the tires. Everything else is complete. From the last video, I had the front suspension mostly done. I just put together the shocks, and then for the rear, I just did all of the rear suspension. There are a few little tricks here that I played. Well, the main one is for this rear stabilizer. Now, the YZ10 did come, well, I don't know if it came with a stabilizer, but it came with the option to mount a rear stabilizer or a rear sway bar. And this was the case for the Works models as well as the 94 and 95 YZ10s. And the way that it would come is with a sway bar that's about this size, and it would be flat, and it would have an end piece here that you'd have to solder on to the sway bar. And then for the pieces here that straddle either side of the gearbox, it's kind of like this, almost like a washer that fits very tightly onto the sway bar, and you slide it in from both sides. You do that before soldering on the end pieces. I have one or two YZ10 sway bars that are just lying around, but they're kind of beat up, and I wanted something a little cleaner. And I also wanted to try a different approach for the end pieces here, or the middle pieces that straddle the gearbox. So what I did is I actually, this particular sway bar is actually the front sway bar for a YR4. And you can get the front sway bar kit. You can probably find those on eBay. And what's kind of particular here is you see there's a little kink in the sway bar right here towards the front. And it's hard to see from the camera, but basically the sway bar kicks up at a slight angle. And there's no particular reason why I wanted that for the rear, but if anything, it allows me to run a certain length here of tie rod, these two ball cups back to back. If this sway bar were perfectly straight, I'd have to run this shorter, and as it is, this bottom ball cup here is a cut piece. So if this were a straight sway bar, I'd have to maybe cut this top piece or something to make it all fit right without this sway bar binding up against the camber link. So it's actually kind of convenient that the YR4 front sway bar not only fits on the rear, but it's actually shaped pretty nicely to enable that fit. These anodized blue end pieces are from the MR4 touring car sway bar set. And in order to do these little spacers here, this little trick that I figured out is if you take the end pieces, the sway bar end pieces for the B44 or the B4, the same piece, and you just Dremel off the rounded piece at the end that the ball cup snaps onto, you can make a nice spacer here, and you could just slot it in and use a grub screw to tighten it down on either side. Okay, so that's a nice little sort of trick thing that I came up with. All the rest of this here, like the shocks and the wing buttons and everything, there's a lot of J Concepts accessories. I thought that they would go nicely with the white and blue theme here. The blue anodization on the J Concepts parts is, you can probably tell from the image here, it's a bit darker than, say, the blue aluminum screws that you can get from Team Associated or 3 Racing. These screws here are about the same shade of blue, slightly different, but roughly the same shade. This has a bit more indigo in it, closer to purple, so it's not a perfect match, but it still looks pretty nice, at least for what I wanted to do here. So let's see, is there anything else worth pointing out? Probably not. I mean, this is just the end product here, all nice and clean. I spent a lot of time trying to clean up the non-brand new parts that I had to use. So for example, these ball cups, I don't have a brand new set, so I had to clean every last little crack and crevice, get inside the ball cup, and like a little pointy screwdriver or something, and a rag and some simple green, and really just kind of scrape away as much of the dirt as I could, because these white parts are slightly translucent. If there's any dirt on the inside, you can sort of see through it. Same thing with these little ball cups and these shock end pieces, and the battery mounts. Like, everything had to be nice and clean. So it took a fair amount of time, but I'm rather happy with it. Right now, I just mounted a set of pink JC Racing reproduction wheels. I have a pink and a yellow JC Racing reproduction rear wing. I was initially thinking that I would go with the yellow wing and with yellow wheels, but I only have brand new pink wheels, so I might go with the pink wing, and maybe, I don't know, I'll have to take a look at both kind of side to side and see which goes better. If I do the yellow wing, then I got to get a set of yellow wheels, or maybe some of the black wheels I have would work fine. I don't know, but anyway, this is it. I hope that you learned a few little tricks from this build here. I've already done 3 93 Works projects, I believe. So, there's not a whole lot here that's new other than the particular parts that I used to get the colors that I wanted. So, yeah, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments section. And I hope you like it. I like it. It was a lot of fun to put together. Certainly took a heck of a lot of time. And in the meantime, thanks for watching.